Thank you. First frame. Jack Lisowski to break.
Jack Lisowski gets this match underway against a man who's in brilliant form. Stuart Bingham has just recently come back from winning the league tournament and had the pleasure of commentating on the final where he played and beat Judd Trump. And of course we just come back this evening from a big shock when Judd Trump got knocked out of this tournament. Jack Lisowski is actually a flatmate of Judd's.
One.
It was a good opener from Stuart Bingham. Yeah, he's been playing really well last few months. He won I think 3 tournaments already this year, 2 APTCs, and of course the Premier League. And a lot of people's dark horse for this tournament. Not in the top 4 or 5 favourites, but certainly a good outside bet with the way he's been playing. As you said, he won that Premier League in fantastic style, beating Judd Trump 7-2 in the final. He's playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, Stuart Bingham.
Six.
I think since he won that his first ranking tournament, Willie, in Australia back in July or August this year, it's given him that little bit of extra confidence that he probably needed against the big players on the big stage.
Yes, he's always been an excellent player, Stuart Bingham, one of the best break builders in the game, and it's been unbelievable to me that it took him so long to establish himself as a top player. I remember when I was still playing, and I haven't played for 15 years now, that he was a good player then. And he never seemed to do anything. He kept getting knocked out in the early parts of tournaments. He had a couple of good wins. He beat Higgins in a tournament, then lost in the next round, I think it was, beat Hendry at the World Championship. He never put a lot of runs together until this last 2 years, where he's become a really, really top player.
We were talking in the studio today about all the tournaments that we've been having over the last couple of years, and particularly the PTCs, and a few of the players that have certainly benefited from it. Certainly the likes of Mark Davis, who won his first round match today.
Stuart Bingham.
And definitely Stuart Bingham is one of those players. Barry Hawkins, another player, has been playing really well in the last couple of years. And this young kid as well, Jack Lisowski. He's certainly benefited from a lot of the matches against the top players, and he's going to be a top player for many years, Jack Lisowski. I hope we get to see the best of him tonight.
Well, if he's a practice partner of Judd Trump, I expect him to have an open sort of player. Very attacking player. I believe he made a 147 in qualifying for this event, so he's obviously a man who's pretty pleased with his game at the moment. Well, it seems a straightforward safety shot off the edge of the pack, taking the cue ball back into Borg. He's now playing that. He's got to be a bit careful, he didn't push it right over the corner. Decided to play the loose thread instead of the edge of the pack, but that's the same result. Now that's the way to play an aggressive safety. Open them up everywhere, get a good length of cue ball, put your opponent under a great deal of pressure in trying to play safe.
And there's certainly no way back down the left-hand side of the table because he can't see the edge of the red that's on the pink spot. So maybe just coming off the cushion. And he's got to be careful here because the red just to the right of the black spot, he'll be leaving this on. Not a difficult, a little bit difficult this shot. Stuart may not attempt it, but if he can get through the gap of the reds and back up the ball, he may attempt it. It may be worth taking on this shot, but Jack Lisowski was always going to be leaving this red.
One.
Needs a nice kiss on the green. Should be okay. I don't think he put a lot of thought into that safety shot, Jack Lisowski. Didn't really come down and have a good look at what he was going to be leaving there. Oh, that's a surprise.
Stuart Bingham 1.
Looks like he was concentrating on position there, Willie, and his next red, and probably took his eye off the pot.
I didn't see that one coming at all. He's been playing, as we just mentioned, some wonderful snooker, especially in one night when in the same night he beat Robertson 6-0 and Selby 6-0 on the same night in the league. Never missed a ball, made 4 centuries. So he's given Jack an excellent opportunity to take this opening frame now. Black's out of commission, but they can 8 reds and pinks look a possibility from here.
Yeah, I was hoping that we will get to see some of the best of Jack Lisowski. Ambidextrous as well, playing with his right hand, just like Judd Trump, Ronnie O'Sullivan. But he's quite a fluent break builder. Likes to get on with it when he's in amongst them. And he's got a nice cue action as well.
$14.
But it's like anything, isn't it, Willie? You know, when you haven't played many times on TV, that can sometimes be always the first hurdle to get over.
Yes, it takes some getting used to. You know, you need to play on it at half a dozen times. Very rarely do players play the first time adapt straight away. Jack has been on television, I think, before, hasn't he? I'm not too sure, but I've not commentated on him before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I've heard an awful lot about him.
21. 22.
That's the first pull shot of the evening from
28.
Jack. Didn't get into the cue ball at all. I can only presume he was trying to flick those 2 reds into play. Just missed the kiss, and now he's faced with a difficult pot. He might still take it on. He'll be kissing into the other red. That's the only problem if he does take it on. So he's not bound to get a good cue ball. Good pot.
29.
Not a bad position either.
$32. $33.
That's a nice shot. Very delicate little stun run through there for 3/4 ball pink. He's 27 in front, so he's
39.
going to need at least 3 more of the difficult reds. The next 2 or 3 reds should be okay.
40.
Doesn't look like the 2 reds that are to the right will pot, but he's just lined one up, so maybe it does. And the way he's queuing, it must do. You wouldn't have thought these reds were available.
$46. $47.
It's a poor shot. Probably thought the reaction off the second red would come off a little bit quicker. So he needs probably a good safety now. He's 35 points in front. Taking the pink. Very good pot.
He cued that in very
53.
nicely, didn't he? Always difficult when you're tucked under the cushion. He's
54.
taken these very, very well. As you've seen there, a lot of the balls have gone right into the heart of the pocket as well. It's always a good sign. But at the moment, he hasn't shown any real nerves as yet.
60.
It's frame ball.
61.
Acknowledged by the crowd.
$67.
Just another glance at the scoreboard will tell him he's 55 points in front. Remains to be seen whether Stuart will come back to the table. So an excellent break of 67,
Lisowski,
and that should be
67.
more than enough for Jack Lisowski to get the first frame on the board in this match.
Foul. 4 in the frame. Jack Lisowski.
The concession comes, so a good opening frame from Jack Lisowski. Not played many times on television, but settled very well. He takes the opening frame and leads 1-0. Well, Ken, you've been playing in the PTCs. I haven't had the pleasure of watching Jack many times. Have you played him, or do you know much about him?
Played him a couple of times, I think, but I've seen him, progress over the last couple of years. And as I said earlier, he's one of those players that has definitely benefited from the lots of matches, lots of the tournaments, and of course the PTCs now are televised as well. So they're getting TV experience, which is invaluable when it comes to the likes of these tournaments, Willie, the big tournaments of the UK, the World Championships, and other tournaments like that. So he's getting a lot of experience. He plays down the Grove Snooker Centre down in Romford, same stable as Judd Trump, and he's getting a lot of valuable experience, and he's climbing up the rankings as well, and that's all through the benefit of playing in a lot of the PTCs. But he's definitely one
Second
to
frame,
watch.
Stuart Bingham.
And I say for the future, I mean, the future could be imminent, but this is a big stage for him.
So Stuart Bingham breaking off in frame 2. Knows what he's up against now. I'm sure he's played a lot with Jack in practice. They're both based in London. One thing was certain, Stuart will be disappointed he had 2 good opening chances in that opening frame and didn't score enough. Jack's a little bit fortunate there to, well, I was just about to say get away with it. I think this red's come back down, leaving the pot.
One. Seven. Eight. Green.
Well, the first kiss wasn't any good, but the second kiss
11.
has put him on a red, which he perhaps a little fortunate to get through that gap, but that's what his name is, Stuart Bingham. Didn't have a lot of ball run in the opening frame.
12. $15. Stuart Bingham, 15.
Oh, so of the two players, the one that you thought would settle quick and has been in good form hasn't settled at all.
One.
If you can pot this blue and come down the left-hand side of the table, he's just coming around to have a look. Two reds, one to the right of the black and one just directly above the black. I think both of those reds pot into his bottom right-hand corner pocket. It's going to be difficult to judge. But that's exactly where he'd love to be, somewhere on the left-hand side. He played it with tremendous amount of left-hand side. Didn't make it down to the red, and he would have liked, but he's still got another one. The one just to the right of the pink in the open.
Seven.
A little bit unlucky there. Had to screw into the pack and have that pink into the left centre. Probably hit it, got into it a little bit too much. At the moment, he's not afraid of taking these shots on. He's going to require another good pot to keep this break going.
Well. $13.
It's quite a good shot as well, wasn't it? Just tried to glance off the pack, but he's still in perfect position now. If you can drop this pink in, those two reds that I spoke about earlier, if you can get on one of those and get back on the black. These are a delicate little shot into the middle. Just there. Has he hit it too hard? It was pretty close. He's having an anxious look
19.
at the red.
Too thin. Yeah, that was the problem. I thought it was close.
Jack Lisowski, 19.
Hit as much as he could, and obviously wasn't quite enough. If he played just with a touch of check side, it would have straightened up a little bit. So just check and see if the black will pot. If it does, he'll play on it. If not, he's going to have to go up for the blue or bought colour. Well, the pink's going to be available in the middle as well, so he has a choice of playing for that.
One.
These are the kind of opportunities over the last few weeks. Stuart's been mopping
8.
up, winning the frame at one visit. I think the way the first frame has gone, he needs to win a frame at one visit just to let Jack know he's not going to have it all his own way. Looked very shaky in the opening frame and a half for Stuart.
9. $16.
The pack is quite loose, so there's no problem in getting onto the black here and going into them. He'd be unlucky not to push one towards the middle pocket.
17.
He's pushed another one out this time. Oh, I don't know whether it was the cushion or the fact that he misjudged
24.
the pace of the table. It's his first match on the table, of course. Takes a couple of frames to get used to the weight. That appeared to come off the cushion a little bit faster than he thought. So this red is still on in the middle, but getting position on the black is not as straightforward as it should have been.
$25.
Good recovery and left a perfect angle.
Get into them with enough pace, really. Just concentrated more on the pot than the split. He does have a red into the right centre, but bridging over the two reds below the pink just makes this a little bit more tricky. The fact that he's not going to leave anything just takes the pressure off this pot slightly. Well, that's a surprise.
Stuart Bingham, 32.
I thought it was definitely a shot that he would have taken on, Willie, because had he left the cue ball somewhere where the red is now, he certainly wasn't leaving anything on.
You're always frightened with these young players, aren't you? Even if you do play a safety, that they're likely to take a long red on, and if he knocks this long red in, he'll be nicely on the black and can quickly get that 28-point deficit back. Not playing it this time, though. Both normally very attacking players, these two young men.
Again, he's left this red. It's not easy. Jack Lisowski will definitely be taking it on. Lisowski a little bit lucky there. He cut that blue full ball with the red because that was going towards that left centre pocket. Well, where's this red going? It's going pretty close to that green pocket, and this is going to be a chance for Jack Lisowski for a counter attack. He's 28 points behind, but the Reds are in pretty good position.
One.
Yeah, it was a good shot to get out, wasn't it? Not easy. Sometimes you can top spin that, can't you, Willie? And cue ball can stay near the pocket.
Yeah, played with loads of left-hand side there, didn't he? It made the pot a lot more difficult. But now he's off, even though he's behind, he's almost gone favourite to win this frame now. The balls are perfect.
5.
Yeah, when he pots this red, the bottom red of the tree just around the pink, the middle red will certainly pot into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. And it looks like
6.
the other red will pot into the bottom right-hand corner pocket when he gets rid of that red. So it doesn't seem to be much of a problem here for him. It's just a matter of...
Well, the way he's played that, Ken, tells me that that bottom red doesn't pot. We wouldn't have played to cannon them. Definitely played a little flick on those two reds there. So I can only presume the red below the pink doesn't pot. We'll know very shortly, won't we?
14.
Well, it certainly looks like it pots from this. He's coming around to have a look here, but it certainly looks like it pots from this angle. Maybe he could flick a little bit aside. I mean, looks pretty much that it can pot there. He could certainly flick a bit aside on it and bring both pink and red into the open, but he has the angle if he wishes to actually go into the two reds here. But
yes, he'd be very unlucky if he did play the cannon. He would almost certainly be pushing the second red over towards the middle pocket. But he's coming around to have another look. Let's see if we can show you from behind the pocket whether we think it pots.
and there you see it. He's not on a full ball, but he certainly can use a little bit of side, but he may elect to go into them. And that's unlucky. Oh, he actually hit the wrong red there, didn't he? He wanted to hit the first red on the way up.
I'm sure Stuart Bingham's breathing a sigh of relief there, because it looked for all money that Jack was going to clear up from there. So he needs to play good safety now.
Jack Lisowski, 21.
It was actually quite a clever shot, but he could have left the touching ball. If he had have left the touching ball, he would have been in a lot of trouble, but he made sure he didn't, and now he's actually put Stuart Bingham in a little bit of trouble. He's got to be very careful with the weight of this cue ball, trying to get it behind the black. Well, he's gone around the angles. Well, that's a very good shot. Excellent shot. Yeah, top of the table from Jack Lisowski. And that was a very, very well worked out safety shot from Stuart Bingham.
Good reply from Jack. Left a very thin safety from Stuart. It's thinner the better on these kind of shots, otherwise you'll push the red right over the corner, which is what's happened. Needs a good kiss. Well, he's held his hand up in acknowledgement of being a little bit fortunate. Left him Chinese snookers, as we call it, but I still fancy Jack to knock this in. Seemed to play that very quickly, didn't he? Got up on the shot, and Stuart's just looking at the yellow. As to say, he thought when he was queuing over the yellow, the tip might have hit the yellow, but just looking for a bit of chalk, I think he was on the yellow. But still, one good pot. Bingham should level.
One.
It helps here that the pink's not on its spot, because the path the cue ball will be taking is going right over the pink spot. So he's just playing a little stun down the line. If the pink had been on its spot, that wouldn't have been as straightforward as that.
6.
So 13 points in front. Looks almost certain in a few moments' time we're going to be 1-all.
7.
Well, it wasn't the best shot, was it? He wanted to be a bit straighter on the blue. He's come too straight on the black. He may have to take the pink. Well, he's looking at the blue as well. The yellow obviously pots past the brown into the green pocket. Well, pink is pretty straightforward as well.
It's strange, isn't it? When you play one bad positional shot, all of a sudden it all becomes hard work. I thought he'd played that perfectly there, but he's just slightly got the wrong angle on this yellow. May have to play for the green in the opposite middle pocket there. You see the angle is not good. That's what he's done, played for the green in the middle. Didn't quite get into it, so this is still not over yet. 22 points in front. This is frame ball.
Mm. 18.
He stayed down on that, Ken, didn't he,
Yeah,
for a while?
for a minute I thought it was going to hit the near jaw. It looked pretty close. I think if he had hit it with any more pace, he would have missed that green, but
27.
A lot of cue ball movement there from not a difficult pot, but so much power. The side spun it round nicely.
33 on the frame. Stuart.
yeah, nice clearance of 33 from Stuart Bingham, and he levels the match, one frame apiece. Well, he was one shot away there, wasn't he, really, from trailing 2-0. Had Jack got a better split in the last two reds, just below the pink.
Yeah, we saw him play the shot and obviously hit the wrong side of it, and he levelled the reds up. But if he'd hit the right-hand side of the reds, he'd have pushed one over the middle and almost certainly one in the corner. But Jack's at least proved to us that he's a very, very good player. I mean, this is not an easy match for Stuart Bingham by any stretch of the imagination. I think Stuart Bingham was only, I think, 1-2 and 6-4 Lisowski on the bookmakers. So not a strong favourite, Stuart. Both players now be pretty relaxed. They've played the opening two frames and we're 1-all.
Frame 3.
Jack Lisowski
Jack Lisowski.
is coming to the table to break off in frame 3. This red may be on. Black's not available, so it needs an angle to get back up the table. Oh, great effort. Unlucky. Played to flick the red away from the black.
Stuart Bingham 1.
That's very careless. There was plenty of margin of error there. I didn't have to hit it so full. A very easy opening for Stuart Bingham, albeit the red to the right of the black spot is causing a few problems.
One.
I'm sure he's going to try and get on that red, just to the one at the bottom of the pack, directly above the black spot. Just drop this in, leave a nice angle.
Stuart Bingham.
I'm not quite sure where he got a heavy contact there. And sort of the gesture with the cue would suggest that it wasn't the best contact in the world, but
One.
good opportunity here now for Jack. You can use the bottom red, the one directly above the black spot. That will pot into the bottom left-hand corner pocket. It's just about perfect. And use that red. When potting this red, you can run through or screw back and bring more reds into play here.
Nine.
It's not bad. The fact that he's a left-hander just makes this pot a little bit easier.
$16.
A little bit fortunate to get top side of the blue there. I'm sure he played to finish this side of the blue, but
17.
not got quite used to the pace of the table there. There's another example, just slightly overhit that, but it's still okay. Well,
Jack
both players
Lisowski,
now have
17.
missed the black off the spot, and at this level you just cannot afford to do that.
One.
Yeah, I think he was just using the cue ball going into the pack there just to slow the cue ball down. The fact that he was quite low on that black. Yeah, it's a poor miss from a good opportunity there for Jack Lisowski.
8.
Under the initiative back to Stuart Bingham.
9. $12. 13. 20. 21.
Even though there's a couple of reds that he can play on here, he's just slightly come a bit low on the black, so he may be forced into playing the cannon on the 3 reds, just below the pink. Oh, Stuart, what are you doing? Played a little cannon, hopefully was going to flick by them. At least he thought he was going to be on the one in the middle.
28.
I'm not too sure whether he is. If he is on this, he's very fortunate because he didn't play the shot very well. Good recovery though. Held his hand up in acknowledgement to Jack that he was a bit fortunate.
$34. Yep.
Just asking for the cue ball to be clean, just taking a little bit of time for composure. I think the red, quite close to the pink, does pot as well.
35.
But he's purposely left himself low on this black. May elect to go into the two reds and pink here. The red does pot into this bottom right hand corner pocket, so well, he has a choice. He can go into them, or he could just skip by that red. That's amazing. It's pretty similar to what happened to Lisowski in the last frame.
42.
You get the right connection on the red's close to the pink, and that may be end of break. There is a red into the right center, but cue ball and red are very, very close to each other. We've got a 27-point lead, so safety shot may be his best option here. Try and push one of these reds close to a cushion.
Stuart Bingham, 42.
Yes, as Ken mentioned, trying to put a red safe there. Didn't quite hit it hard enough. And his foot safe is just about the only one he can play now. Play this cross double and white up and down. It's close. Yeah, they're always on those. It's amazing how many times they go in as well. And he's got a nice angle on the brown to be able to come on any of the three reds, and with him being left-handed, he could play right over to the cushion if he wanted to. That's what he's done. Oh, you're kidding me. I didn't see him missing that.
Jack Lisowski, 1.
That's a little bit careless.
One.
Yeah, quick look at the scoreboards, 34 points ahead, so just a red on any colour will leave Jack Lisowski leading the snooker. Oh well, you cannot believe it. I can't believe how many balls Stuart Bingham has missed in these opening exchanges. Well, he has a choice here, the red that's over the pocket, but it is a big pocket. You can take the one with the rest, the dead straight one. Well, I thought it was a big pocket.
Well, it's the pace he played it at. You know, if you're going to play it in off the red, play it in off the red. But I can only presume he played it direct and misjudged it. So he's had a couple of chances to get back into this frame. Surely Stuart's not going to give him another one. 34 points in front. Red and black is enough. Made sure it didn't. Red and blue is the same thing. It's still enough if he puts the blue. been a strange frame, this.
Six.
They've both had a couple of chances, but Stuart Bingham will be a little bit relieved. Whenever you lead 2-1 and you've missed probably 5 or 6 balls during the match so far that you wouldn't normally miss, you've got to be pretty pleased if you can be in front and barring snookers. It will be Stuart Bingham who takes a 2-1 lead.
One. Eight. Jack Lisowski, 8. Two.
Just looking at the scoreboard, Jack, I think he
Stuart
may
Bingham.
decide to concede. Is he conceding? No, he's not. He's carrying on. So Bingham is 34 points in front, so 3 snookers needed.
Frame conceded. Frame, Stuart
Didn't even have to pot it. Stuart Bingham then. He played a scrappy frame really, but a break of 42 was enough to take him into a 2-1 lead. Well, so far, Ken, it appears to be the one who's making the fewer mistakes. Both players have been given plenty of chances. Both have missed easy balls.
Yeah, it's quite surprising, isn't it? I can understand a little bit from Jack's point of view. Less experienced than Stuart Bingham, but Stuart Bingham over the last couple of months has been in the ascendancy. It's quite surprising. And some of the balls that he's missed, he's look probably just as nervous as Jack Lisowski has. Yeah, both players not playing to the best, but still quite an intriguing game. Amazing, isn't it? Always the first round of any of the major championships. This championship, the World Championship, it's always the first round for the seeds. It's probably the most nerve-wracking.
Frame 4.
You always want to get over that first round, don't you, and get your teeth into the tournament.
Well, this red will cut in, but and it's amazing enough he could possibly get on the black here as well if he pots it.
1.
Just slightly lost the cue ball there, but he's got a nice angle to go into them. These young players tend to go into them quite fiercely at times, so he's got to be a little careful with this black. It's a tricky cutback. Well played. Deserves to be on 1.
Eight.
Yeah, that's worked out nicely, hasn't it?
Nine.
Couple of reds to go at here. One in the bottom of the pack goes, and also one just left to the pink into the left
16.
centre, but he's on this nicely. Not quite sure if you can screw back to the red, just behind this red, and take the pink into the right centre. He's just having a look at the pink now to see does it go. Looks pretty tight. If it does, certainly be a good chance to get it. Well, he tried to power it through, and he's jumped over all the pack, and that's exactly the way he played it. That was an excellent shot. That shot tells us the red below the pink goes into this bottom hand corner pocket, right hand corner pocket. He's looked pretty confident when he's been in amongst the balls, hasn't he? Well, he's just a few loose shots here and there have cost him these couple of frames.
I suppose playing with the fabulous Judd Trump, who's currently world #1, if they practice together, there'd be a great session to watch, wouldn't it? If they had a 2 or 3 hour practice session, there'd be balls flying in all over the place, and Jack looks to have got a lot of Judd Trump's traits, where he goes into the pack early, scores heavily, cues beautifully, both left-handed. I'm sure they're both going to be great stars of our game. Well, Judd Trump already is. Jack's trying to get there. I'm impressed so far, just a little bit concerned about some of the times he goes into the pack the wrong way, but at the minute he looks very, very good.
Well, he's thrown his cue down. He got
26.
terrible contact on that red. So frustrating, isn't it, as a snooker player? You get a contact like that. You got a good opportunity to level up the match, and
1.
something like that can cost you a frame.
Both players are having trouble in breaking the reds open. It doesn't appear at first glance anything will pot. Maybe the one to the extreme left-hand side, the 4 reds, the one second down from the top 2, that maybe will pot. It does. He's decided it does pot.
Nine.
So Stuart Bingham's got a chance now after that awful kick that Jack had at his last visit to the table, when it looked certain that Jack was going to take a sizable lead. Stuart's got a half a chance now of taking a 3-1 interval lead.
Eleven. Green. Stuart Bingham, 12th.
So Jack would be pretty pleased that the unfortunate kick he had on the red the last time he was at the table hasn't really cost him any more than the 12 points that Stuart just got. It's very strange, some of the shots these young lads play, but I suppose they're so used to knocking them in practice, they just think it's easy, but very fortunate there to get away with that. It was a red that he perhaps shouldn't have gone for, but got away with it.
One.
Oh, what a fabulous pot. Just floated it in. Dangerous way to play it, but this is the young man's confidence. I think on reflection what we've seen so far this evening, maybe 2-all would be a fair score at the mid-session interval, but there's a lot of snooker to be played yet. That's one way of getting on a red.
8.
Yeah, he absolutely powered that in, didn't he? Playing this right-handed. Oh, he's missed it by an absolute proverbial.
Jack Lisowski, 8.
He's just a little bit too impetuous at times, and that's just comes from lack of experience at this level. Just playing a few of those big shots just a little bit too quick.
One.
Well, that's a good opening red from Stuart, and he knows now that this will hurt Jack should he go on to win this frame. Jack's had a couple of chances. It's the first shot I've seen him play right-handed, and I haven't seen that one shot right-handed. I don't think he should play many more.
3.
Given Stuart a very, very good chance here to get right back into this frame and possibly take a lead in it.
4.
Tried to get an angle on the pink there to move the two reds into play, but he's come a little bit too high to do that.
Eleven. Fourteen. 15.
Took a risk there, Stuart, in bringing the red out, which makes this pink a little bit more difficult, but should the pink go in, he's got every chance now of winning the frame at this visit. This is the big shot of this frame. and cued beautifully. Excellent shot.
'21.
Yeah, just wondering, will he leave the tricky red to last, or will he take it now
22.
after this black? Perfect angle for the black. Just drop it in and then drop the red down the top cushion, but always very tricky, these shots. Potting the black, he wants to leave just a nice angle, 3 or 4 inches off the top cushion with the cue ball. Just have a nice angle just to drop the red in after he pots this black. That's about perfect. And you've got to play these dead weight because
29.
you've got to give it every chance to get into the pocket.
And of course, if he does play it dead weight, he'll be low enough on the black to be able to play for the last red.
30.
But he has done. Come a little bit further than he wanted, but he's blessed with a very good cue action and a lot of cue power. Shouldn't be any problem here in screwing back and getting close to this red. And now looks almost a certainty, Ken, for 3-1.
37. $38.
Well, I'm surprised he risked playing the gap off 2 cushions there, because I mean, as you can see, he mishit it slightly and just brushed by the yellow. So the green is not as straightforward as it should have been. That's a good recovery. The frame now almost formality.
41. $43.
Yeah, and he probably can't believe how easy Jack has made this for him. I mean, he's had a few chances. Hasn't been vintage Stuart
46.
Bingham by any stretch of the imagination, but without Jack Lisowski got off to a good start winning the opening frame, he really has handed
50.
a couple of frames of these back to Stuart Bingham.
55. $61.
Yeah, nice break of 68, the highest of the match so far. But Stuart Bingham won't be worried about that. He goes into his mid-session interval leading by 3 frames to 1.